Well, hello everyone. Curious Bystander here, leadership coach at Protagonist. And here we are with another leadership lessons in Final Fantasy XIV today. As we go, I will be taking the time to just point out various different leadership do's and don'ts as the oh hi, as the whim hits me here and as we go. So make sure that, okay. Game capture is good. I think we are just about ready to roll. Need to get logged into Final Fantasy XIV here. How's it going, CFG? Glad to have you with me today. I caught a little bit of your stream yesterday on the Fix My Twitch. Good stuff. I'll have to try and tune in a little more frequently as I'm able. No worries, my friend. Looked like you guys were having a good time. I may be a little bit... My verbiage may be a little bit strange today because I am running on about 5 hours of sleep, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see. Map. Where did I want to go? Right. Brusemont. Double Dragoon. I need to go to... Dragonhead. Yeah, exactly. That's why... Coffee. Thank goodness for heated coasters. Alrighty. Hey, Callie. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I am up here in Ishgard today. For those of you who are familiar with Final Fantasy XIV, I need to get to the place to do the thing. Speak to Brusemont. I need to go way over there. Okay. So, let's start heading that direction, shall we? Finally figured out how to hotkey my mount. That has helped immensely. No worries, no worries. I'll just be doing my thing over here. I think I can come at it that way. Why I would want to come at it that way, I don't know. Here's leadership lesson number 1 for the day. Know where you're going before you actually leave. If people are following you, or even if you're just following yourself, it's rather important, I think, to come across at least confident enough that you are going in the correct direction for a wide variety of reasons. So, oh, Brusemont, why are you over here? Okay. So for those of you who haven't caught the last couple ones, my main class is as a Dragoon, and I think this is one of the final quests to actually establish my Dragoon class in the game. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to kill something that's maybe over-leveled for me. We'll find out. Speaking of knowing where you're going, knowing what you're up against, too, is another big thing. All right, Brusemont. You have grown strong since we last met, adventurer, but you pale in comparison with your azure forebears. If you would prove me wrong, let your lance do the talking. Oh, I sense a hostile presence. All right. Ooh, that doesn't look good. don't claim to necessarily be an expert at the game here, but I feel like I'm good enough. Let's see, how's my life doing? It's doing all right. Right. Soul of the Dragoon resonates within your Draken armor. Wait, I don't actually have any Draken armor. Alright, Bruce Mott. I spoke with my lance, now what? Once again, adventurer, you prove yourself worthy beyond my expectations. Take this, but know that your trial has only just begun. Your next challenge lies in the chamber beyond. Sir Hustin waits you there. Right then. There's something about that your journey has just begun thing that really resonated with me there, so I want to take a minute to talk about it. And where's my face? There's my face. Hi. So, as a leader in a business sense, if you've recently been promoted, if you've recently been hired to be a specific leader for a team, for a business, for a nonprofit organization, whatever happens in that regard, your journey is just beginning. Now, really, your journey began the day you were born, but we're not going to go into all that detail. When you start something new, I feel as a leader, it's very important to look at the work of those who have come before you, if there is any. In a lot of cases, there isn't much. Talk with the people who are your peers, the people who are above you, and especially the people who are below you, and try and combine those inputs and opinions to set a new baseline that you are going to hold as that leader that helps bring the entire organization farther forward. I've talked about the 20-mile march before, just doing that 1% every day like clockwork. And in a year, rather than sitting at a flat, 1 or 0, you'll have gone, I don't know, it's like 37% farther or something like that. It's like 1 to the 1.01 times 365 or something like that is the equation. But yeah, just setting that baseline that there's going to be continuous improvement, that you are listening, and that you are actually following through on the things that make sense and caring for your people. All that to say. So let's get back to the game here. Alrighty. Go over that way. Sir Hustin. Hello. Oh, that looks wonderful. Okay. Oh, Sir Hustin. I'd forgotten that she's female. Oops. This is why you don't call everybody sir. You, a foreigner, would don the Draken armor and prove to us that you will not do it dishonor. That almost rhymes. You sense a hostile presence. Hostile presence? Oh, hi there, dude. Can I not? Oh, no, I cannot. That was well timed. Just right up in this dude's grundle. I am imagining this is not a pleasant fight for either of us really, but especially me. Imagine this in VR. Just giant grundle right here. Ugh. I shudder to think. All right, Houston, I've proven my worth once again. Thank you very much. Sir Alberic said the Eye had chosen you, and it would appear he speaks true. The armor is yours. Wear it with pride and honor. Your trial is nigh complete, but be forewarned, many before you have made it this far, only to fail at the final challenge. Do not let overconfidence be your downfall. Obtain Draken armor from Hustin. Need to go farther yet to the final trial, it seems. Avoid all those baddies over there. To Brusemont again. So, you have made it this far. Very well. Prove yourself worthy of the Azure, or die in the effort. Gigas Captive. You don't throw rocks, do you? Thank you. Ha. I have projectiles too. Mine are plenty. That's why. It's like, why aren't those lighting up? Oh, I understand. Speak with Brusemont and complete the trial. You have demonstrated your powers to me beyond a doubt. Aye, there is not an Ishgardian who would gainsay your right to don the armor of dragons. Except I haven't really fought an actual dragon at this point, which is kind of problematic if you're going to say that, hey, you're a certified dragon slayer now, go kill dragons. But I guess in the absence of said dragons, I guess you just put people up against the toughest enemies that you can find. I shall send word ahead to Sir Alberic that you have passed your trials here. It is he who will present you with the 4th piece of armor and consummate your training. Ooh. Go now, my fellow dragoon, and deliver this land from the great worm's wrath. Another thing to be conscious of as part of the dragoon storyline at this point in 14, there's a big bad dragon, as you can assume, that is about to awaken and wreak all sorts of havoc on Ishgard, this particular region that I'm in. And it's up to us, as the newest Dragoon, to pair up with the current Dragoon, where am I going, and take down that dragon, prevent the catastrophe. All these ravines here. Do I want to be going this way? No, I don't. All right. And as an adventurer who is wanting to become a dragoon, it is my job, being the leader-ish type that I am, to do whatever I can to stop the calamity from befalling those who cannot defend themselves from it. Now, whether or not I'll be able to actually defend them from it is yet to be seen, but I'm at least going to try because I have more capacity than they do. I've always loved how beautiful this game is. It's so pretty. So, Brucemont, or Alberic. I'm not talking to Brucemont anymore. He's stuck in that cave. Hi there, Alberic. I hear from Sir Brucemont that you performed most impressively. Yes, I stand more convinced than ever that you will be the one to save our land. Yet be warned, Curious. One last trial awaits you. Well, you know, I can't have shiny armor because then it means my metal truly hasn't been tested. You will face this trial in the presence not of knights, but of ghosts. Make your way toward the steel vigil and seek out a gravestone north and west of the structure. Okay. Take with you this flute, and when you reach your destination, blow a single strong note. The visitor shall soon arrive. Entertain your guest, and should he leave behind a present, return it here to me. It's like he knows stuff. Play the flute and complete the final trial. First, I want to see... Oh, right, it's not I in Final Fantasy. Character armory chest. That's what I want. Altered mithril elmo. I'm wearing the best armor that I have, I think. I'm feeling like there's some sort of consequential battle coming up and feeling like I don't... Oh, I have the gauntlets. Okay, I might as well equip those. No, I'm going to need to reset my outfit, but that's fine. Equip. I don't have... I could wear my rabbit suit to the battle. That would be a thing. Click on the silhouette over your weapon in your character view. Ah, recommended gear. Is that what you're talking about, Kelly? Okay. So I've only got 3 of the 5 pieces so far, it would seem. I hope I get a really badass spear out of these quests. That would be cool. Doesn't seem like I've gotten anything to that effect. But whatever. Complete the final trial. Is way over there. Dragon head. Okay. Gotta go back. Back and forth. Back and forth. Oh. I think I'm alright with weapon condition right now. I haven't done that much today. Fate with the Gaboos. 6 or more levels above the recommended level for this fate. A lot more than 6. So Robin, I saw you guys were talking about stream raiders yesterday. I've heard about that. And I've seen another streamer who I watch regularly by the name of Lobos Jr. use it. Looks interesting. I feel like it's a lot of micromanagement in terms of switching back and forth between your stream and that and everything else. What are your thoughts if you're able to respond? If not, no biggie. Oh, I don't want to ride off that. Sense a hostile presence. Oh. Grey wine. Yeah. Speaking of dragons, it's like they heard my request. Oh, that could have put me straight off that curve. There we go. Play the flute and complete the final trial. I see no present. But I suppose that's fine. Alright, that was straightforward. See, another aspect of leadership I'll talk about while we are riding back to the observatorium here is clear instructions. You know, Alberic was terribly vague in his instructions. Hey, go over here and play the whistle and see what happens. You know, in some cases we don't have necessarily all the details, but you know, as the guy who I'm taking direction from, Alberic obviously knew what was going on. Obviously, this is part of a trial, so I'm not necessarily supposed to know everything. And that's a balance, is if you're testing an employee or if you really want them to learn something, or if you're testing, you know, it doesn't even have to be in a business context. If you are intending something to be a test, be very conscious of the details that you do and don't include. Maybe ask yourself a question of, how am I going to receive this information if I was on the other side? You know, the one that I'm the side of the line who is being tested. How are they going to take this information? And is it going to cause things that I don't necessarily intend? Presence before me indicates you've seen to the visitor. Yeah, almost bit my head off. Have you aught to show for your deeds? If you or someone else slew Greywine, was definitively me. Here you go. Ah, the skull of Greywine. Old warrior of the Dravanian horde. It's said that in ages past he could bring down a castle with a single breath. He's been languishing, obviously, because that would have nuked my shorts. If that was still the case. His strength has dwindled since those days. See? There you go. But a dragon past his prime is a formidable foe nonetheless. In slaying him, you have proven yourself worthy of this. You now possess 4 pieces of the armor that Estinian, myself, and our forebears did wear. While you doubtless wonder about the 5th, I can tell you only that it is not mine to give. Well, what kind of mentor are you who doesn't have all the pieces of the armor? Come on. Yeah, and yesterday, or 2 days ago on Tuesday, this guy was just telling me about how, well, I was gonna give you my armor, but then my former pupil made a really good point that you should be tested for it to make sure that you're worthy of it, yada, yada, yada. Like, make up your mind, dude. Fear not, however. Your triumphs in the trials and against a dragon of the Horde give evidence that Draken blood now resonates with yours. Yes, you stand before me as prepared for your ultimate challenge as any could be. And yet, before we proceed, I would hear it from your own lips. The Great Worm's power is the stuff of legends. Have you truly resolved to fight this battle? To risk your own life to deliver a foreign land from the clutches of its ancient foe? When you are certain that your mind is settled, return and speak to me. Alright, 24,000 XPs. Now I have the fourth piece. Dragon Armée. Linen shirt really is my recommended over the steel scale mail? I don't agree with that, but okay. Maybe it's the secondary bonuses that make more sense. But what let's do... Actually, steel scale mail. There we go. I'm gonna have to go back to Limsa and reassign my glamours. Oh wait, I think I can do that out in the field. I just need to figure out how. So let's make sure our tools are in good repair so that we can continue to be good examples. Because what is... Oh, alright. I guess our tools are all good. That's another thing that a lot of people forget from a leadership perspective is the things that you use to do what you do and to be an example need to be in good working order and reliable working order so that you can continue to be said example and not be laughed at when such and such tool or implement does not do what you want it to in front of everybody else. All right, Alberic, what you got for me? Ooh, spine shatter dive. That sounds positively obliterating. Sir Alberic would ask you to reaffirm your commitment to do battle with the Great Worm. Does that mean I'm gonna have to fight what's-his-nuts? So you would join your strength to Estinians, that Ishgard might be free from the rage of the Great Worm forevermore? You betcha. And I shall honor my promise. You shall have full use of your powers by the time we are done. Have at you! No. Before we begin, there is something I must needs confess. You will recall the tale of my battle with Nidhogg 20 years past, and how the power of the dragon left me on account of the injuries I sustained. Yeah, I remember. What I said was an untruth. The power did not abandon me, Curious. It was I who abandoned it. Being derived from our mortal enemies, the power of the Azure Dragoon is a double-edged sword. Wait, I thought the power was of a spear, but yeah. Even as it lends us the strength we need to smite dragons, it heightens our communication with the creatures, rendering our minds more susceptible to their seduction than ordinary men. Even as I buried my lance in Nidhogg's flesh, our gazes locked, and mine eyes met then with a look that would fair impale a man. In that instant, I found myself assailed by a torrent of emotions not mine own. Sorrow, rancor, pity. They threatened to drown the man in me and leave behind a dragon. Fearing that I might turn traitor, I chose to purge myself of the power that the Eye had bestowed upon me. Thus, regaining lucidity, I was able to rout the grievously wounded Nidhogg. Alas, countless of his brethren yet remained. As if to mock me, they fell upon Ferndale with a vengeance. Bereft of my power, it was all I could do to save but one child. Nary a soul knows of this. Nay, not even Estinian. I was going to say, Estinian was that one child, right? But I can keep him in the dark no longer. At our last meeting, Estinian said that protecting Ishgard and exacting revenge upon Nidhogg are as one to him. That frame of mind, I fear, may well lead to his demise. The desire to protect and the desire to avenge are opposing forces that can ill be reconciled. Worse, the latter serves only to cloud his sense of self. When next Estinian and I meet, I intend to confess all, though it means the loss of his good opinion. The outcome of the coming battle, and his very life, may well depend upon his readiness to relinquish his powers. Nobody can ever just play along, can they? Ooh. Need to turn down the coaster. Never allow yourself to forget the origin of your strength. Ever does the dragon lurk behind your eyes, biding its time, ready to claim you for its own. Aught less than complete conviction, and you will find yourself in its vice-like clutches. So forewarned, let us return to our present endeavor. My promise to Estinian was that I would impart unto you the technique that will mark you as a true Azure Dragoon. If you would know the truth, however, this knowledge is not within my power to bestow. Alright, then point me at the person whose power it is. No, you must claim the technique, much as you claimed the fourth piece of the armor you bear, proving yourself in battle with the dragons whose power you would unite with your own. Okay. I entrust you with this flute once more. Take it to the southwest of Providence Point, and blow a single note. By locking wills with your adversary and prevailing, you will prove yourself worthy to champion the cause to which your lance is sworn. The dragon within you shall then awaken. Quest accepted. Alright. Taking my own advice, where do I need to go? Up here. Okay, I know how to get there. Zoom out, let people enjoy less of the chocobo butt and more of the wonderful snowy weather. So hopefully this will give us the last piece of armor and a lesson that we can digest a little bit here. Okay. Use the flute to summon a dragon and slay it. Right? Where is flute? Wonderful question. In theory, it should be use the flute to summon a dragon and slay it. Okay. Oh, I wonder if I need to go up there. Oh, I probably do. How do I get up there? Oh, I have to go around the horn, I betcha. Yep. Off we go again. I will admit, I did not look at the map closely enough to realize that that was a cliff, although that was probably something that I should have assumed. Which, assumptions are a whole other topic that I could go on and on and on about. Don't make assumptions. period. They lead to typically worse ends than one would like. Okay. Now we're on the right track, I think. All these sheepies up here. Now I have to be careful not to do the leap thing up here, otherwise I am going to fly off the cliff. Hey, dude. Ah. What's his nuts? Deadified. You know, in games, it's all epic and stuff to send people off on dangerous errands, because overcoming them is obviously the hero's job. However, in a more real-life scenario, having some restraint when sending people off to do things on their own, especially if there's some danger in it, whether it's physical or whether it's emotional or whether it's danger to somebody's career. You know, there's all sorts of considerations to be given when sending people, quote unquote, into the fray. And slaying dragons in a game is one thing. Slaying dragons in terms of maybe meeting KPIs or delivering that Hail Mary to finish the project is another thing altogether. If at all possible, a leader should help provide whatever resources and whatever collaborative assistance people may need to slay whatever particular dragon they're being sent to slay. All right, Alberic. It is good to see you safely returned. I take from your bearing that the engagement went favorably. Aye, that it did. Ooh, cutscenes. You left this place a man, Curious. Would you return as a dragon? I thought I was a Mikote, but whatever. There is no more for me to teach you. From here, your battle is yours, and yours alone. Now, you might recall me saying that the fifth and final piece of the Draken armor was not mine to give. However, that is not wholly true. I could guide you in the direction of that which you seek. That said, I yet have reservations. The sheer power of the dragon housed within is such that a great many of your Azure forebears, myself among them, have proven hopelessly incapable of wielding it. I do not doubt what I see. Within you has awakened a strength that forever eluded the likes of me. But you've got an epic beard. How could you not be the strongest dragoon ever? If you are not worthy of wearing the armor, then I know none who are. Remember my warning to you, Curious, and heed it well. Nidhogg is a lord among his kind. Aught less than complete conviction, and you will surely fall under his thrall. Before you can master your foe, you must needs master yourself. Hone your lance arm till it can bear no further honing. Then present yourself to me. When the time has come, I will tell you what you need to know. Look forward to our next meeting, my young dragoon. Woo! Spine-shattering stuff. That's always fun. Inner dragoon grows stronger. And this is going to be a level 50 quest, right? Yes. Okay. All this armor and just a red coat in the middle of it. Gear set glamour plate. Unable to plug glamour plates here. Oh, I need to be in a town to do that, don't I? So let's go back to Limsa. Find most Gnawback and draw effects. Yeah, let's swap that out. Spine Shatter Dive delivers a jumping attack with a potency of 240. Cannot be executable bound. Okay. Return. And I'm not sure where we will go from here now that I've gotten that chapter of the Dragoon quest out of the way. Oh, okay. I'm not all of a sudden a Viera. Alberic, and talking with Estinian over the last few sessions, has really gotten me thinking about mentorship. And let me get into my room at the Drowning Wench here while I speak. All right, Mittison, let me into my room. And let's swap over to the face cam. So mentorship is something that I feel is very, very important, as anybody, really. Does that still mean I have all my Dragoon gear? Yes. Yes, it does. Perfect. Okay. So, oh man, where do I even want to start with mentorship? So, a little bit of backstory. Alberic and Estinian. Alberic mentored Estinian, who is the current, I guess, ranking Azure Dragoon, if you will. He's been an Azure Dragoon longer than I have, so take that as you will. And the two, while they don't necessarily seem to quarrel, they don't necessarily seem to get along terribly well, which speaks to me of things that have gone awry in the mentoring relationship, to the point that they are estranged in the fashion that they happen to be. And as a mentor, obviously, it's your job to provide guidance, not necessarily to do the work for the mentor. It's a lot like being a coach. You're there to provide a different perspective, to ask questions, to, give a nudge in the right direction when it makes sense. And mentors, or mentees, excuse me, should be there of their own volition, which is a big way that a lot of mentors that I've seen have gone awry, is their want to mentor somebody has led to them kind of coercing somebody into being a mentee that really either didn't need it, didn't want it, or both. And that's a very troublesome situation. So, all that to say, from a mentor standpoint, make sure that it's a two-way street, and make sure that you, again, are being conscious of the needs and objective of the mentoring relationship. That's all I'll say on mentorship right now. So what let's do, go back to the game. I want to see some of these, they call it the Starlight Festival, which is so cool. I love all the decoration that they do in this game. It just makes squares, or I guess plazas like this, feel so cozy. Oh, Kalkaya. Okay. I suppose what we could do is we could try and see what kind of quests there are for my Grand Company. Ooh. Ra Ashat Riki, Storm Commander. Has an urgent duty to press upon a conveniently available adventurer. Your hearing must be exceptional, Corporal Bystander. You did not overhear the Link Pearl report, then why... well, no matter. You are here now, and we could certainly use your aid. I've just received word that raiders have sunk a civilian vessel in the Strait of Marathor. One of our warships is en route as we speak. I fear there will be little left for them to find. I am uncomfortably familiar with pirates looting, and even commandeering their targets. But to sink the ship entire, an excessively brutal act, even for a buccaneer. About to make a really terrible buck and ear pun there. Saved you from it, though. No, I'd wager cold hard coin that those thrice-damned fishbacks are behind this. Them and their serpent weaver lackeys. Sahagin have much to answer for. Vengeance will be forthcoming. That's a cool coat. Can I see said coat? Oh, that's a neat coat. Bet you it's a summoner's coat, though. Vengeance will be forthcoming, but let us first focus on rescuing what poor souls we may. While the warship scours the waters, I would have you head to eastern Lanosi and look for any survivors washed up on the sands of Bloodshore. One of my soldiers, Private Wilfalk, has been deployed to coordinate the search. Speak with him when you arrive, and he will direct your efforts to where they are most needed. May Limlion guide your steps. May they guide my steps indeed. So where am I going? Wilfalk at Bloodshore. Costa del Sol. TP to Costa del Sol, so I might as well. It's amazing, I just don't tear my clothing to shred with all this spiky dragoon armor that's underneath it. What are you? Wave mate. Okay. Boy, it's been a while since I've been here. I think this was where you and I left off, Callie, wasn't it? Somewhere along here. With Whisket! The Whiskey Biscuit. Oh, Whisket Tree, oh, Whisket Tree. I don't know. Whoop. We had to whisk it all for we had to whisk it all for risk it. That's right. Whisk it, risk it, not the other way around. Oh, well, this does look like a shipwreck, doesn't it? So this is a good opportunity for another leadership lesson, actually, real quick, before we get in here. a lot of us have walked into kind of the proverbial real life version of this at work in some capacity or another. You walk into a meeting and you just feel the darkness and the depression and the just lack of will to continue in the room, especially if you're an empath like I am. And it's much like these folks who are washed up on the beach, right? They've been struck by something, whether it's a particular meeting with a customer, whether it's an illness or a loss of one of their colleagues who is, very well liked and also pivotal to the project, or any number of other things, some bad news or some ill fate has happened in some way, shape, or form to the group. And from a leading perspective, when you step into that room, take a moment. And whether you stop at the door or whether you just take 10 seconds when you sit down and take a deep breath to compose yourself, kind of breathe into the room and nestle yourself into that with them. The next thing you want to do before you get on to the topic of the meeting, because whatever is causing that dark feeling in the room is infinitely more important than whatever the topic of the meeting is, unless that is the topic of the meeting. Take the time to commune with whoever is in the room, be they an immediate part of your team, be they part of the executive team, be they part of the customer team, or whoever, and try and get an understanding and a handle, gently, of course, of what the current state of people's minds and the current state of the overall morale is. By doing that, one, you suddenly have a new thing that you can work into your strategery as you lead throughout the rest of the day, the rest of the week, etc. But two, and I'd say this is almost more important. In fact, it is more important. You're gaining huge trust with everybody in that room by being concerned and offering your time, which, regardless of where you are on the food chain, is important, and offering to listen to them and give them the opportunity to let out some of those difficult emotions. Whether or not they actually do is up to them. But giving people that opportunity can go a long way in terms of helping folks trust you more and thereby be more of a close-knit group and a more effective group overall. So let's talk to Private Wilfalk here and see what is the matter. I'm going to turn off my cam elements for this. You're the one Commander Riki said to expect, then. I'm Wilfalk, a private in the Commander's foreign levy. As ye can see, there ain't much for me to coordinate. Fishbacks made a good mess of that ship. Seems barely a handful of the poor buggers what were sailing on it made it ashore alive. Where am I? Where is Robin? Where is my son? That's something that could definitely throw people into a poor mood for sure. Oh, you just calm yourself down, good wife. We'll have your boy back in your arms afore you can spit up another lungful of seawater. I mean, he tried. Comforting, I'd give that maybe a 5 out of 10. The tide's been merciful to a fortunate few like the good wife here and carried them all the way to the beach. Here, you'll be needing some of me medical supplies for the bleeding and injured. Take a walk along the coast now and help them as ain't beyond helping. Okay. That much I can do. So let's talk to this guy, fix him up. Can barely breathe. Aiding. Load. Some of these things just kind of take the whole feeling out of the situation. Thank you. Thank you. Which of the 7 heavens is this? Bloodshore. Oh. Yeah, you're still alive. Congratulations. Whether or not you actually want to be is another thing. Ugh. Aiding. Please wait. I made it. One moment we was sailing along happy as you please. The next I was struggling to keep me head above the waves. Tend to the wounded survivors. Can I still tend to injured survivor number 3? I can. Now see, this is the example that I would set for other people, is I have the time, I have the capability, and so I'm going to take that and run with it and help out as many people as I can. I can feel me fingers again. Yeah, I've been there with the dislocated shoulders. And I can empathize. Those gutless fishbacks. They were over the rail and swinging afore I could stammer out a prayer to the navigator. Now, that was before I even recognized that I needed to do the potions, too. That was just me saying, hey, I'm a good person. I'm going to help these folks out because I can. Wave slammed me into the rocks. Cut me up some, I think. Bad? Nothing a little potion can't fix. If only we had such powerful magics and potions in real life, right? My thanks. I feel much stronger now. All I remember is an impact like bloody thunder, and the deck lurching beneath my feet, and they came aboard. Alright, Will Falk, I've helped people. Me and my trusty red panda. You've saved some lives this day, lad. It's a terrible thing what happened, but you take what solace you can in the little victories. It's very true. Not that any amount of solace will have me forgiven these blasted fishbacks. You can expect attacks on the Navy. That's what we signed up for. Sinking a civilian ship with women and children aboard. It's a hagen of ice water for blood, I tell ye. Yeah, that they do. No, not her little Robin. Am I freaking you out over there, Robin? You seem to be lost at sea. Me condolences, good wife. I know how hard this must... Leviathan, scaly arse! From the depths they arrive. Not murlocs, but fishbacks. Sahagin! Here! Well, they do have the ability to travel underwater. What? You didn't get your fill of slaughter out on the straight? If you want to finish the job you started, then you'd best start with me. I sense battle incoming. Oh. Robin, you've been saved. Or at least you're going to be ransomed, but you're not dead. My darling Robin. And they're letting him go. All right. What trickery do we have? Thank the 12 above. Mm-hmm. A nod of respect. Move out. The lad's alive. What manner of fishback trickery is this? Well, it obviously wasn't the fishbacks if they're delivering the boy unharmed. Either that or there's a much broader plan afoot. Which I suppose we'll find out in the next Grand Company quest. Alright. Robin, what you got to tell me? I'm fine, if a bit wet. I thought I would sink right to the bottom of the sea. But then some nice fishermen came and saved me. You mean fishmen? They were not like the scary ones that came after our ship, but the stories say that all the fishmen are nasty. Isn't that odd? Factions, kiddo. Every group has factions. Might I ask you a favor? I mean, sure, if you want. I found this necklace at the bottom of the little boat the nice fishermen used to carry me ashore. I'm certain it must be one of theirs. I'd take it back to them myself, but I don't think my mom would like that. Could you maybe return it for me? Sure. I got time. Last I saw, they were swimming towards western Lenosi. That must be where they live. I wonder if their houses are made of seaweed. Posiblemente. I'm not sure. There's a wandering thingy over there. They came from the deep. Where do I need to go for this? Western Lenosi. Teleportation fees, man, but I'm not spending my money on anything else, so... It is well. The ever-present balance. Time versus utility versus finance, right? How do I get out of here? I need to go... Camp Skull Valley. Oh, I think I've been up there before. I went to go trade up there for some blue dye once that you can only get here. And was promptly sent away because I had no faction with them. At least I think. We'll find out. I feel like this is right. Okay. Well. I don't know if I can get out this way. Aha, I can. Victory! And this was a point that I made, or that I've made other times, but maybe not recently, is that paying attention to the small things, like returning a keepsake to someone in this case, can mean so much to the person whose it is. Yes, this is the area. Now, do I have faction with these things? Okay, good. Maybe if I talk to this guy, I'll have faction. But anyways, that's another great way to not only show that you care, but also gain loyalty and trust is it's always the little things. The little things, if you don't pay attention to them, will come back to bite you. What is the meaning of this trespass? I should skewer you where you stand, finless one. Well. Fine howdy-do. Carry the necklace of Clutchfather Nove. How is it that you possess this cherished treasure? Well, I met a kid who found it in a boat. Funny, I know. Hey, Tritus. How's it going? You may pass. Seek out Clutchfather Nove and be sure to keep your tone respectful. He is the elder of our clan. Okie doke. Yeah, I ran out here like 15 levels ago to try and get blue dye for stuff, and they weren't having it. Hey, Nove, how's it going? Nope. Shahaha! Rare it is to see a shore walker in our midst. I am Nove, Clutchfather to this clan of spawnlings. Ah, the finless child bid you return my necklace, did he? Man, he's got some blinging teeth. Look at that. Shh. No, I had no special reason for saving the boy. Only that for the Sahagin, as it is for you shore walkers. Offspring are considered the most precious of treasures. It's true. All that reside here are bound by ties of blood. All are the children of the Clutchfather. Only slightly less precious to me than my spawn is the trinket you bring. It was a gift, a commendation from our beloved matriarch. I thank you for returning it to me. We have a saying. The fervor of one is repaid by the gratitude of the clutch. Shh, I welcome you to our home. Perhaps a modest banquet is in order. I do not know, however, if our spread will agree with your shorewalker stomach. Shahaha. Well, you can just give me XP and money instead. That's fine. I will take those. Who is the dude? Dude man thingbob orange. Who has the dye? Is it this dude? No, he's not a vendor, it would seem. Sahagin vendor. Promissory notes from each beast tribe. I'm pretty sure I still don't have promissory notes for these. Currency exchange. Yeah. I have no currency. Period. With any of these guys. Well, let's talk to Nove again and see what mischief he would have us get up to. And actually, before we do that, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about gratitude, because one cannot show gratitude enough. Oops. Getting my buttons crossed. Gratitude is your way, by definition, of showing people that you value what they've done. And I feel like in many business environments, especially, not necessarily to go down into other environments, people are so worried about what's next on the agenda that thanks is often given hastily and with a lower level of sincerity than it should be given. Now, all I can say is it's just another thing to be conscious of as an individual and as a leader, is to make sure that you are being sincere and you are being not necessarily overly thorough, but thorough enough in the gratitude that you give. Most of the time, it's going to be fairly short-winded and short-lived, the gratitude. But making sure that you make eye contact, that, you give someone a firm handshake, or you give someone, maybe a thank you card in some instances, or, like this Nove guy suggested, a humble banquet, depending on the size of the task that you are grateful for. All of these things are great, and another big thing to be conscious of. Let's see what Nove has for us. Clutch Father Nove needs your help to rein in one of his spawnlings. Okay. Shh. You witnessed the aftermath of the attack in the Strait of Merthor. Yes, it was indeed perpetrated by Sahagin. I knew it. I knew it was. The individuals responsible are called the Coral Tridents. They reside in the Sapsa spawning grounds. This guy who uses way too many S's. And are known among our people as a volatile and fanatical faction. Hey, thanks, Tritus. We had hoped to prevent them from ever reaching that vessel, but alas, the current was not in our favor. Foolishness. Their actions only invite further violence through retaliation. And what of Nove and his clutch, you ask? We live apart from the spawning grounds and pursue a separate agenda. I do not claim to understand the structure of your civilization, but for us, Sahagin, each clan of clutch mates is led by a single clutch father. The Indigo Matriarch, which you might call our queen, bestows each clutch of her eggs upon only the bravest and most seasoned warriors. It is then a clutch father's duty to raise and instruct his charges in the ways of our people. This guy's killing my throat, man. But for this cycle to continue, the matriarch must have a secure environment in which to bear her offspring. That is why we chose to make this land our home. It is unfortunate, then, that the Sapsa spawning grounds have become the locus of such conflict. I do like he does have a good vocabulary for a fish dude. Locus? That's not a word you hear every day. If only more shore walkers were like you and spent a moment to understand our situation. Clutch Father, I need your counsel. Our counsel? Maybe these guys are more like Sean Connery. What have I taught you so? A Sahagin does not flail and splash about so. He rolls with the waves and rides the currents. Forgive me, Clutch Father. It is Pew. Boy, can you imagine having a name like Pew? I mean, I suppose culturally, we've probably got some pretty darn weird sounding names to people who don't speak English, but still. Anywho. It is Pew, our 6th youngest brother. What of him? He has left the nursery without permission. He spoke of taking talking Shensh into the Coral Tridents. Yeah, you've got a point there, Tritus. Yeah, and I mean, we have people who name their children Northwest, who will not be named. I'm sure those who are watching know who that particular family is. His brain is as shaft as his spawning scales, and this at a time when I cannot afford to take my eyes off the rest of the clutch. Unfortunately, yeah, you got that right, Callie. Well, guess I get to go kill some fishbacks. Though our stance towards each other is not yet clear, Shorewalker, I would ask a boon of you. Save my foolish son. So here will have more to say on the subject, I am sure. I'm trying not to hiss too much into the microphone. Okay. So is over here. But actually, give me a moment. I'm going to swap out my coffee for water. Yeah, there we go. That's good stuff. Yep. So. You have no skills, and yet the Clutch Father seems to trust you. I shall do the shame. What does doing the shame mean? Never mind, I don't want to know. As you heard, my brother Pew has taken it upon himself to educate the Coral Tridents. He is one of our more impetuous spawn brothers, and yet young. He does not realize the peril he puts himself in. The Tridents will not listen to Pew's reasoning. They will laugh as they impale him upon their spears. Please bring Pew back safely to the nursery. By now, he must be some distance across the land base, closer to North Tide Gate. Okay. So, North Tide Gate. I could go through the Sahagin lands to get there, and in fact, I probably should. That's marginally shorter. Hi, oh, chicken on a raft. If you guys haven't seen that, go to chickenonaraft.com. Very catchy tune. Chicken on a raft on a Monday morning, oh, what a terrible sight to see. Hi, oh, chicken on a raft. Hi, oh, chicken on a raft. And we're here. Are you going to insist on fighting me, good sir? Thank you. This concerns you not, Shorewalker. Away with you, finless one. You are under attack. You think? Concerns me insofar that you are doing let's try this new damn spine shatter dive. That's cool. Whew, just in time too. Down to a third of my health. Okay. All right, Pew. Are you ready to atone for your sins? Your short-sightedness? Cutscene. I guess I can fade myself out here. Rescued by a Shorewalker. What am I to tell Clutch Father Nove? Spawn Brothers so did bid you to come to my aid. Well, yeah, it was kind of Nove's idea, so, you know, you can tell him all about it. Shh, I do not understand these Coral Trident warriors. I scarce opened my maw before they proceeded to beat me bloody. Clutchfather always says that the currents of discussion carry us to enlightenment, but it seems the words of a spawnling count for little and less. I simply wanted to put into practice what my clutchmates and I had been taught. Now I surely face a punishment in addition to my beating. Yeah, probably. Probably not, though. Alright, let's get back to safe territory. I want to talk about that a little bit. Enemies, enemies everywhere. My chocobo can run faster than you. Alright. Look at that. Whatever that is. Let's transition here for a second. There's a lot to unpack in that situation. As we saw, Pew showed some fine examples of really poor personal leadership. In that, one, he didn't fully comprehend the situation he was getting himself into. Two, he didn't see that as a problem. Three, he didn't probably listen to his gut when he was getting close enough to feel that kind of shaky uneasiness of, something in the back of my head's telling me I really shouldn't be here. And four, he then was rather rude to the party that showed up to help him out, who was sent specifically to help him out. And that's, I could keep going. There's a lot there. And as individuals, whether you think you are a leader or not, you definitely are, because every day you lead yourself. And I'm going to keep using that line until it sticks. As an individual, it's important to be an example for yourself and be the example of the things that you strive to become, as well as the things that you hold important. Good way to do that is to find a great way to do that is to find a mentor who you can work with directly. Another way is to find, for lack of a better term, a fictional mentor, somebody that you admire and see as an example. Now we could get into a whole conversation as to good examples and bad examples for admiration, but we'll save that for another time. Find, at the very least, try and model yourself after the things that you admire in whoever it is that you do. Say you admire, let's see, who's kind of a wholesome icon here. Say you admire Wash from Firefly. In these situations where you're not sure what to do, you can ask yourself, because you're probably intimately acquainted with that specific character, whether it is fictional or whether it's an actual person, what would Wash do in this situation? Now, again, that comes down to, who's a good person to admire and who's not. And being able to discern the correct qualities in terms of the qualities that are going to lead you to success in whatever that may look like to you. You can ask yourself those questions of, what would Wash do in this situation? How would Wash react? What would he do before leaving the base to go face down these coral tridents, if in fact that was his decision? And you can kind of walk yourself through those rhetorical scenarios and be like, oh, well, Wash may be playful, but he's not an idiot. Uh, I don't really know anything about these Coral Trident folk. All I know is that they do bad things, and chances are, if I go rushing in there, they're without any kind of pretense or any kind of invite, they are less than likely to treat me well. So therefore, maybe it might make sense to delay, maybe try and find some inroads into these Coral Trident folks. And, if we're using Wash as the example here, try and use some humor to break the ice. Find a common thread that you can latch on to between you and them, and use that as a way to get into their good graces so that they are actually willing to talk. Now, to look at the flip side of that, where Pew was probably feeling all sorts of emotions. Now, let's make sure we take that into account. He was feeling fear. He was stressed. He was probably in pain because they were beating the tar out of him just a moment before. And then all of a sudden, this foreigner, this outsider, this Mikote, who's obviously not a fishback, comes to his rescue, and he doesn't know necessarily why. I could have just been passing through and decided to do a good deed because I'm an adventurer and that's what I do. There's a lot of things that were probably going through his mind, not only when I showed up, but when he had to interface with me after I had defeated the Coral Tridents. And just, again, like I mentioned with that kind of dark timbre, like on the beach at the beginning of this quest line, regardless of whether you feel you're the leader in the room, as bestowed upon you by the powers that be, you have the power to take that moment, and you should. If you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling overwrought in any sense of the word, pause, tap, take a pause. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute, 5, whatever it takes you to get composed enough to look at your situation rationally so that you can approach it in the best way possible. And that is treating the other parties with respect, whether or not they are part of your culture, part of your team, so to speak, in this case with the fishbacks, and making sure to give them their due, as is polite. You can always work out the disagreements and the imbalances with those people after you've gotten the formalities of the thanks and the recognition and just the I'm here, I am calm, let's deal with this scenario. And that's all I'll say on that. This is getting a little long. Where'd my mouse go? There we go. All right, so we are back in Fishback territory. Clutch Father Nove, I have saved your son. Reward me with gold and jewels. That's not an expectation you should say out loud in front of, respected village elders or people who are necessarily on the same level or beneath you, in any respect. Welcome back, Shorewalker. You are kind to endanger yourself, though you owe us no such loyalty. See, this is good leadership right here. He recognizes that we have no obligation to do him stuff. If you ever try that, Callie, I will be very interested to hear the results. Reward me with gold and jewels. I've been working for you all year. I'll make sure to record it. Yeah, put your phone in your pocket like Rob does. Just make sure the camera's facing out. Let's see. Pew will be appropriately disciplined for his reckless actions. That's another good leadership point, is discipline, while not everybody's favorite thing in the world to do, and if it is, you should be careful of that individual. Discipline is something that is necessary, both in the punitive sense of the word as well as the personal restraint sense of the word. And right now we're talking about the punitive sense, disciplining somebody for acting wrongly. It's important to reinforce both the bad things, but more importantly, it's very important to reinforce the good things. And that's another balancing act as a leader, right? Is figuring out to what level you should recognize the good and the bad. I'm always a proponent of praising in public, so thanking people, praising people for the good things that they've done, and going above and beyond and all that stuff. Most people, not all, another thing to be aware of, like to be praised in front of their peers for something that they've done, because it makes them look good in their eyes. As a leader, you need to be aware of jealousy and other biases that may be at play within the team. For the bad things, however, I feel it's prudent as a good leader to coach in private. You may have heard those two pieces smushed together. Praise in public, coach in private. And I think that's very important as a leader to do that, because not only does the coaching come in a less volatile environment for both of you, it also gives you and the person who's being disciplined the space to discuss it in a non-confrontational manner and diffuse whatever emotions may be attached to that disciplining without being in front of the broader group. Which does a lot of things. It saves face for both you and the employee or the other person being disciplined, which helps gain trust. The fact that you were thoughtful enough to talk to them in private about it and not yell and scream at them, but to approach it rationally. There's all sorts of little things. Again, we look at the little things here that are important to pay attention to. That's all I'll say on that for now. Now, more than ever, the Sahagin must act with caution and wisdom. Many of our people reside peacefully within our city in the Indigo Deep, but our civilization faces a steady and treacherous decline. We must venture onto land to secure spawning grounds to lay our eggs, and build nurseries to raise our young. It is an essential element of our breeding cycle, an instinct too powerful to ignore. Our traditional spawning grounds were, however, annihilated in the calamity. Thus were we forced to seize this new location, the region the finless ones call Western Lanosi. And very quickly, that's a good leadership thing too, is he realizes that he's maybe not coming across as the good guy to the shore walkers, as he calls them in this case, because they are, they're taking over land that in all reality kind of belongs to them. And they don't have a choice. And that realization can lead to some really good diplomacy between the two parties. It is not surprising that the shorewalkers view our sudden aggressive expansion as not more than an invasion, but this seemingly unprovoked attack on their territory is, in truth, a desperate struggle for survival. Speaking of diplomacy, great time for both sides to have the good type of leaders who are patient enough and inquisitive enough to find out, if it would be one thing if the Sahagin were just recklessly attacking everybody they saw. But it doesn't seem like that's the case here. And if the leadership of Limsa, of the storm, were wise, they would realize that there may be something else at play here that needs to be discussed and diplomatically approached so that it doesn't lead to escalating conflict. The whole goal in these situations as a leader, in my opinion, is to de-escalate conflict whenever you can. Conflict to me is just a huge waste of energy, and energy that could be used more creatively and more impactfully to form maybe an alliance between the Sahagin and the people of Lenosi and say, hey, you can have this little chunk of land. We weren't really using it for anything anyway. And in turn, why don't we establish some trade or something like that? I don't know. Let's see. Without this land, without a place to rear offspring, the Sahagin race is doomed. We are in no position to wage war against the Shorewalkers. Again, another opportunity for diplomacy. We must attempt a parley and learn to exist side by side. Indeed. The Coral Tridents, as you have no doubt realized, do not comprehend the merits of a diplomatic approach. They seek only to control the weak of mind, those like their brutal serpent reavers, and slaughter all others who oppose them. Shh. Do not mistake me as a traitor to my kind. No, anything but. This guy seems like a pretty decent leader, actually. I hold no love for finless ones. I shed no salty tears when the great Leviathan is summoned, and the Lord of the Whirl gathers his new drowned shorewalkers to his fold. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that bit of lore. But conflict with your peoples is not the answer to our woes. Exactly. Conflict rarely is. Unless you're the dictatorial type in which conflict is the only way you can get what you want. And then you should probably reconsider your life choices, in my opinion. We must look beyond the present and ensure calmer waters. Waters in which the future of our race can thrive. Shorewalker, your arrival is a precious gift. Well, I wouldn't call it that, but sure. I would have you become the first stone in the bridge I hope to build between our peoples, and the rock which blunts the mindless spears of the Coral Tridents. I pray you, lend us your aid. Well, in this situation... Okay, so they give us choices here. I don't believe I can trust you, and I swear myself to your noble cause. I feel like this guy has been really forthright. He says he doesn't really care about the Landwalkers much, which I get, that's fine. But he doesn't really want to go to war with them. He wants to spur some cooperation, and I am more than happy to help with that cause. I will swear myself to your noble cause and make fun of your way of speaking. Because, that's how you gain trust with people, right? Your presence is most welcome, Shorewalker. My warriors are eager, but lack the experience to engage such vicious opponents as the Coral Tridents. Yeah, that's probably true. We will halt the Zealots' advance at the shoreline and begin to repair the damage they have done to our chance at peace. There is much work ahead, but together we can put an end to this meaningless bloodshed. Indeed. Clutch and kin. Complete. Woo-hoo. Beast Tribe quests unlocked. Yes. Now I can get beast currency and get my dyes. Although I do look pretty fantastic in this red. Sahagin Beast Tribe quests are now available from few at Nove's nursery. Excellent. Furthermore, you may now purchase wares from the Nove's clutch vendor. I like it. I like it. These tribes of Eorzea are beset with myriad problems. Well, yes, aren't we all? By helping each tribe resolve its issues through Beast Tribe quests, you can improve your reputation among its members. I'm sure I can. The quests that are available change on a daily basis, and you can accept up to 12 in a single day. However, you cannot accept a new quest while the previous day's is still in progress. Okay. To view your reputation among the Beast Tribes, select Reputation from the character menu. By winning the trust of the Beastmen, not only will you gain an insight into their lives, you'll also be initiated into their mysteries. Ooh. Mysterious. It's getting to be dusk right now, isn't it? So few, I can do the thing. BRB, changing name to Mysterious Bystander. Well, we can just give that name to the Sahagin. They don't need to know. Purchase items. Ooh, cooking ingredients. Interesting. Garlean garlic. I don't trust it. Rainbow Tide. Look at all these. Venture. Venture? Unable to complete a stand. Okay. Yeah, this was what I came over here was the shadow blue dye. It's kind of like a dusky royal blue. That's what I came over here for so long ago. They don't sell accessories. They sell all sorts of stuff. Oh, Beastman currency. Yep, I understand. Okay. Well, very good. I'm having trouble sitting up straight anymore, and my voice is starting to go, so I think I am going to call it for today, but that's good to know that we can do these quests now, which is pretty cool. Let's go back to Limsa, get back into the hotel room so I can keep my XP bonus. And we will wrap up our session for today. Wow, look at this fantastic person. Oh, they've got the new collegiate attire. That's right. That's a thing. Which way am I going here? This way? Yeah, this way. I would so love to play this game in VR. This would be so much fun in VR. Wench, yep, I want to go up there. Thank you very much. Tire to an in-room. Thank you very much. Okay. We are back in our hotel room. We can give our little buddy some rest after a day full of adventuring. So, thank you for watching, whether you are on the Twitch stream, whether you're watching this on YouTube. Appreciate the support. Follow, like, all that fun stuff. If you are interested in discussing leadership and talking with me to see if it might make sense to have me help you out with leadership troubles that you are experiencing, whether personally, through personal leadership or as a business leader, you can I'll get this right one of these days. You can hop over to protagonist.life and book a free 45-minute consultation with me there, where we can discuss, whatever it is you want about leadership and such. So once again, thank you for watching. And remember, until next time, be the hero your life deserves.